Hello, so this is my response for the questions about Metropolitan and Veiled Aristocrats. So, for the first question about what are the similarities in the two movies and what is the time differences, so first and foremost, let's talk about these similarities. The similarities of the two movies are like you have this huge issue with the clash of classes and how we see certain classes are having or having certain advantages over other classes. And whereas in, you know, we're also seeing a combination of like that with how certain classes have a certain privilege. Whereas in Metropolitan, we have Nick, who is consistently, challenging the ideas that others are putting out. And he's kind of coming off as like this conceited asshole of sorts. And whereas in Veiled Aristocrats, we have this brother who's mixed, but he passes as a Caucasian man, and he's able to benefit from that. And he suggests that his sister does the same, and stop fooling around with the guy who happens to be black because of the time it was not the popular thing, and he just wants her to have that same advantage that he's having. And essentially, yeah, the difference in the two movies when it comes to the time period, we have the idea of the class thing in the 90s being an issue of more so like, what are we really doing to help? Or we actually, just, like he's kind of challenging the idea of what it means to be this educated and of this class, and is it really going to be beneficial towards the world? Whereas in Veiled Aristocrats, it's a race issue, and it's an issue between the two different classes, which ends up being an issue of the two different races. And my favorite scene from Metropolitan. So I really liked it when Nick was harassing the one guy, and pretty much this guy got fed up with Nick because he made the story up about him. And so he confronted Nick about it at the party. And the guy's mad. He's calling him out on lying because Nick was lying. But when he calls Nick out on lying, Nick, he considers what he told to be the truth, but with a composite, as in I believe he quoted that from the New Yorker or something like that, some sort of publishing piece. And that pretty much, like I said, what he was saying was reality, but, just with a little twist. And I really felt like that fit into the film real well because it kind of shined a light on like he was almost becoming like the rest of them, acknowledging, that there was wrong in society, really doing nothing to benefit society through that, but just kind of to be on a high horse and really just kind of make himself feel better about that. Was Metropolitan or Playtime funnier? For me, I felt like that was an easy question. I have no doubt that that was Playtime because Metropolitan, I honestly did not even care for that movie. I mean, it was whatever. I mean, it's just so. The thing is with Metropolitan is I feel like it's a very specific type of humor, and it's not my type. Just because it's prone to only, I feel like it's more prone to people of the upper class. The humor is the talking, and it just everything to me in that whole movie just came off as boring for that reason alone. Now I will say that there was some of the smart, witty humor that Nick used against some of the other characters in the movie that was, I thought it was rather funny, and I thought it was very creative, witty humor, but it wasn't funny and as creatively brought up as what was done in Playtime, where you have like these characters who like they're chasing each other through, these crazy big settings, and the color schemes and stuff were just so much. They really were. They were not nice, or whereas like Metropolitan was very bland, and you really had to. You mainly went off of dialogue, very little representation of art through the scenery, I feel like. And yeah, I feel like that sums it up. All right, so I'm gonna cut it there.